ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुक्तापदगणं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धु वैवच पतितानां भावनेभ्यो वैष्णवो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So welcome to Corporate Gita. We are continuing with our reading, and we were in the 7th chapter, verse number 24. So this particular chapter is called knowledge of the absolute. So just to recap a little bit, in the 6th chapter Krishna says Arjuna to become a yogi. A yogi is better than ascetic, better than empiric, better than empiric philosopher, better than a karma kandi. And then he says the best yogi is one who thinks of Krishna and always abides in him. Now one may ask this question, why should one think about Krishna always? So to answer this particular chapter, 7th chapter is given, which is called knowledge of the absolute. In this Lord Shri Krishna, he opens up his biodata, who he is. Okay, so he says, I shall now declare to you fully the knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous, after which nothing is to be known. People don't know me in truth, so people don't know Krishna in truth. Then he says, these are my energies, just separated energies: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego. So what he's trying to say is that the living entity is also another his own energy. Of all that is material and spiritual in this world, know certainly I am both the origin and the dissolution. Just hold on, please. Okay, sorry. So yeah, Krishna is saying he's the origin and dissolution. Origin and dissolution. There is no truth superior to him. Everything rests upon him as pearls are strung on a thread. So basically, he's saying he's the supreme Lord, and people don't know about it. Okay, you understand this point? Do you? You're there with me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is a very interesting thing. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, I am the Supreme Lord, everything comes from me, and he gives various explanations. Okay. Now, we see in this material world, in this particular world that we are living, some people also say like that. I am Supreme, I am God, you know, and they worship, and people worship him. Now, what is the difference between that person saying and Krishna saying? What do you think is the difference?
Prabhuji, Krishna is the Supreme Lord. So when he says he's
No, no,
right
how
in
do we
saying that
know?
he is the
See, till now he's just saying, okay? He's just saying seventh chapter. This is seventh chapter. Eighth chapter also he'll say the same thing. Ninth he will say the same thing. 10th he will say the same thing. In the 11th chapter, Krishna does something which a common man cannot do.
Yes, Prabhuji.
What is that?
Vishwarupam.
Yeah, he
Vishwarupam.
shows Vishwaroop. Now, people get fooled when, somebody says, I am God, worship me, right? They don't ask him, okay, show me your Vishwaroop and all that. And when Krishna was there, there's so many things he did. He lifted Govardhan Hill. Hmm? He expanded into 16,108 to marry 16,108 wives. And he lived like that. He never got old. Like, this Mahabharata was not happening, right? He was almost 100 plus years. But still, he was looking like a young boy. So, Krishna never becomes God. He is God in all case. Like when he was baby, he could kill Putana, he could kill Agasura. So it was not like when he was in baby form, he was no God. No, he was their God also in the baby form also. Full energy, full potency, full power was there with him. Okay. So that, a common man cannot show, but he can fake. I'm God, and he can speak in a certain way, or he can do some magic. Some ash can come out from his body and all that. But that is nothing to do with what Krishna does, right? So people get fooled in India and all over the world actually. People say I am God, and then some people believe in them and just destroy their lives. So we have to be very clear. Krishna is saying, okay, I am taste in water, I am light in the sun, I am syllable om. Okay, fine, all this is fine. We read through all these things. So I am the original seed of all existence, the intelligence of the intelligent, and the prowess of all powerful men. Okay. So Krishna is telling about himself. This is his biodata. Then he says the material energy is very difficult to overcome. Only those who have surrendered overcome. Then he explains who surrender and who don't surrender. So we discussed last time who don't surrender, who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion and who partake of atheistic nature of demon. They do not surrender. Some are very sophisticated. They may even follow religion. But when it comes to loving God, they won't do that. They'll say it is not required. I'm happy in my life. Why I need to think about afterlife and all that? I'm happy. So even those people also don't surrender. Then who surrender? Then in the 16th verse he says who all surrender? Distressed. People are in problem, so they go to God, right? Desire of wealth. People want wealth, so they go to God. Very easy. Inquisitive. People are looking for knowledge, so they also go to God. Then the last one is one who's searching how to go back home, back to God. That person Krishna likes the most. Okay. But he is not partial with other things. He gives what they want. Okay. So then, yeah. Then he talks that there are demigods. What are demigods? Devatas. Do you know Devatas? Devatas are called
Yes,
demigods.
Prabhuji. Devatas
Yes.
are,
And then
are
there is
like
Baba.
ministers
They are like,
who are empowered by Lord
yes.
Krishna to perform, to take
So
care of certain
tasks, right? So we'll discuss all this.
tasks of the creation. Yes.
So there is local government and then there is a universal government. In local government, there is prime minister, there are chief ministers, then there are various departments. Which kind of departments are irrigation,
uh, electrical,
education?
irrig-
Okay, yeah, power.
food, food
Coal
department.
department is there. Road department is there. Like that. More. Tax department. Should not forget tax. Right? So in the local government, we so many departments are there, so many ministers are there, so many officers are there, right? Similarly, in the universal government, which is going and covering across planets, there are devatas. Irrigation, who takes care of it? Indra.
Indra.
Education,
Saraswati.
Saraswati. Yes, good.
Goddess Saraswati. Finance also is there, Prabhuji. Kubera.
Kubera, yes. Okay, we'll just put it here. Okay, Kubera, Agni, Varuna. So what do you see is you see a comparison between universal department and this Yamraj. Okay, so this is how universal government is there. So demigods are devotees who are given certain powers. Indra, Saraswati, they are given certain powers, and they have to work with those powers, and they have to do the organization and control, you know, of the various functions and features. Got it? So now Krishna says that they provide certain things, and people think they are providing, so they go to them. Like if you need electricity for your house, you will go to the local government, right? Bascom. Those who stay in Bangalore, they will go to Bascom. So for them, Bascom is the thing. I went to Bascom, I could give some bribe there, and I got my electricity, right? But ultimately, the electricity is coming from whom? From the local government, right? So Krishna says the same thing, that people go to these demigods and they get their fruits, okay? But ultimately, I am the one who's giving demigods, and through the demigods, you are getting it. And when you get from the demigods, that is also limited and temporary. It is not eternal. It is not going to be there after life, only for this life. Within this life, also for some time only, like that. So, so today's verse is all about further thing what Krishna wants to say. Avyaktam vyaktam apanam. Somebody joined. Avyaktam vyaktim apanam manyate mam abuddhaya param bhavam ajananto mamavyam anuttamam. Unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personal Godhead, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know the higher nature which is imperishable and supreme. So Krishna is talking here about higher nature. Higher nature means spiritual nature, which is imperishable, which doesn't die, and which is supreme. Okay, someone needs to mute. Okay. So people think that Krishna is also another human being only, or historian, or historical figure like that. No. Or they may think that he's impersonal before. God is impersonal, he's energy, and then he takes form. Some people say like that. It is also not like that. Krishna is in his original form in the spiritual world, as we see two-handed Krishna. So that form is there, originally present. But before that, okay. Okay, go ahead. Those who are worship of demigod have been described as less intelligent persons, and here the impersonalists are similarly described. So we talked about the worshipper was a demigod, Okay. Now we are talking about impersonalist. Impersonalists are those who think that God has energy. Energy means does energy have any form? No, right? Wind energy, air energy. Do we see it in like a form? No. It just comes and goes. So they think that God is also like that. Then he's taking new bodies. It's like that. But it is not accepted. Why? Because Krishna is saying here that such people don't know me. They assume that I am personal before, and now I assume this personality because they have small knowledge. So Krishna is not talking about these category of people who are religious, they are good, but they are not having complete knowledge. They are having some confusion, and this is their confusion, that God is like an energy and then he takes form. No, God has a form and he has energy which he controls. See, this is very important to understand because in Indian society and all over the world also, impersonalist philosophy is prevalent. Okay, it is spread all over. People know impersonalist philosophy better than personalist philosophy. But impersonalist philosophy is not a complete understanding of the absolute. Okay, impersonalist is not the complete understanding. Personalist is the complete understanding. Any questions on this?
No, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay. This personalist, impersonalist philosophy, it will again come. Okay. In this purport only we will discuss it. Lord Shri Krishna in his personal form is here speaking before Arjuna, and still due to ignorance, impersonalists argue that the Supreme Lord ultimately has no form. So they say they have no form, but actually it is not like that. Yamunacharya, a great devotee in the disciple succession of Ramanujarya, has written appropriate verse in this connection. My dear Lord, devotees like Vyasadeva and Narada know you to be the personality of Godhead. By understanding different Vedic literature, one can come to know your characteristics, your form, and your activities, and one can thus understand that you are the supreme personality of Godhead. But those who are in the modes of passion and ignorance, the demons, the non devotees, cannot understand you. They are unable to understand you. However, experts such non devotees may be discussing Vedanta and Upanishads and other Vedic literature. It is not possible for them to understand the personality of Godhead. So those who are under the modes, right, modes of passion and ignorance, they cannot understand. Why they cannot understand? Any thoughts? Any thoughts? Do you know what is passion and ignorance? Passion means fruitive. If I see a fruit, then only I will work and I'll work hard for it. Okay. There's no problem working hard. But passion is unlimited desires. It creates unlimited desires. I want this, I want that, and it will never end. So there will be misery. The result will be miserable. Ignorance, the result will be madness. Something which not has to be done will be done. That is ignorance. So such kind of people, can they understand Krishna? No, right? Because they are too much into their own modes that they just cannot understand. They just cannot come out of it. How many of you seen drunkard people? Have you seen drunkard people?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
So drunkard people, they uh, um, I mean, there are many things to talk about, but to make it short, like if a drunkard person drives a car, what will happen?
Accident, Prabhuji.
Accident, right? Why?
Mm.
I mean, the
Because he doesn't watch. I mean, he does. He's not able to hold the steering properly because of his state of mind, and he will go wherever he wants, and he'll not follow the rules.
yeah, why he won't follow? Because he's influenced by the alcohol, right? So he has lost his senses. Agreed? He has lost his senses. He cannot understand what is real, what is false. Where his senses are weak. When he opens his eyes, I mean, his eyes are always closing down, right? So if he drives, there will be definitely accident only. Same is the case in more passion and ignorance. One is not in a state of goodness. One is not in the state of awakefulness, of awareness. Okay. So, to understand God is very difficult at that point. It is said that, animals are in passion and ignorance. Can they understand God? No, right? Because their whole, when they get up to say sleep in the night, the whole thing is where is my food, where is eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. That's it. So that mode is driving them crazy. Just like alcohol is driving a drunkard person, right? For craziness. Similarly, people in these modes are not able to understand. Now, does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. But in spite of this, those who are in mode of goodness also, right? They will also struggle. And how they will struggle, we will see. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated the personality of Godhead cannot be simply understood by study of Vedanta literature. One, only by the mercy of Supreme Lord can the personality of Godhead be known. Therefore, in this verse, it is clearly stated that not only the worshippers of the demigods are less intelligent, but those non-devotees who are engaged in Vedanta and speculation on Vedic literature without any tinge of true Krishna consciousness are also less intelligent. And for them also, it is not possible to understand God's personal nature. Persons who are under the impression that the absolute truth is impersonal are called abuddhaya, which means that one do not know the ultimate feature of the Supreme Lord. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that the supreme nature begins from the impersonal Brahman and then rises to localized super soul. Then ultimate word of the absolute personality of Godhead, absolute truth is the personality of Godhead, Bhagavan. Modern impersonalists are still less intelligent, for they do not even follow their great predecessors, Shankaracharya, who has specifically stated that Krishna is supreme person Godhead. Impersonalists, therefore, not knowing the person, supreme truth, think Krishna to be only son of Devaki and Vasudev, or a prince, or a powerful living entity. This is also condemned in Bhagavad Gita 9.8. Avajananti mam mudam manusham tanum ashritaha. In the later chapter also Krishna says, only the fool regard me as an ordinary person. The fact is that no one can understand Krishna without rendering devotional service and without developing Krishna consciousness. The Bhagavatam confirms this. I will, okay, I'll read this. My dear Lord, if one is favored by even a single trace of mercy of a lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate to understand the Supreme Personal Godhead are unable to know you, even though they continue to study the Vedas for many years. One cannot understand Sri Krishna or his form, quality, name simply by mental speculation or by discussing Vedic literature. One must understand him by devotional service. When one is fully engaged in Krishna consciousness, beginning by chanting the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Then only one can understand the Supreme Personal Godhead. Non-devotees impersonalists think that Krishna has a body made of this material nature and all his activities, his form and everything are Maya. These impersonalists are known as Mayavadis. They do not know the ultimate truth. This is a very big purport. Okay, we discussed a lot, but to make it little, because this is all philosophy, hmm? Very important philosophy. So first thing is we discussed about drunkard driving car will lead to accident. Okay, now those who are in the mode of passion and ignorance, meaning they have unlimited desires and they are tending to do the wrong things. Hmm? They also cannot understand God, right? Just like a drunkard, at his in his state, he cannot drive properly. He will do mistakes. Even if a policeman comes, he will fight with them, right? Similarly, those who are in mode of passion and ignorance, they will be focused only on their passion. Now here passion means what? Unlimited desires. Okay, unlimited desires to enjoy. Okay, don't confuse with the another meaning of passion. People say now work for your passion and all that. No, it's not that. Here the passion means there's an unlimited desire to enjoy. And ignorance means what is right is wrong and what is wrong is right. So always do the wrong things. Like a thief, he is always ignorant. He knows that this is the wrong thing to do, but he will go and still do it, right? Now the third category of people, they are studying Vedas. Okay, so they are good people. They are good people, but they are not doing devotional service. What is devotional service? Chanting the holy names and serving, practical service to Krishna or to his um, or to spiritual master, okay? Or to his representative. In simple words, this is devotional service. Okay, you chant the holy name and you serve under the direction of his spirit representative. So they are not doing this; they are just studying the Vedas. Now, what happens if they don't do this? Still, they cannot understand Krishna. So this is another category. Because they are not chanting and they're not serving Krishna or his representatives, they still cannot understand Krishna. So when can we understand Krishna? This is one point that Krishna very clearly says. Who can understand him? In this verse, uh, he doesn't say, but in a later chapter he will say. Like one of the 15th chapter, there is one nice verse. Yo mam evam asamudo janati purushottam sa sarvet bhajate mam sarva bhavena bharata. Bhajati means devotional service. Mam means me. Who will do devotional service with full heart, sarva bhavena, with full bhava? Yo vam evam asamudo janati purushottam. Without a doubt, he knows that Krishna is the Purushottama, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He will only do bhajati. This is this verse. Okay. Let's check in 9. This one verse. Ananyasya chintoyo mam ye jana paripashate tesha nitya yuktanam yogakshema vahamya. Those who do devotional service, Krishna takes care. Okay, sorry. Um, Just let me check this particular verse I'm looking for. Yeah, I think this one. Bhaktya tava ananya shaktya aham evam vido arjuna Nyatyum darshanta tatvena pravishtum sa parantapa. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am standing in front of you directly. Only in this way you can enter into the mysteries of my understanding. So only by devotional service one can understand. In the 18th verse or in the 18th chapter also Krishna says this. There is one more verse. Yeah, 55. 18.55. भक्त्या माम अभिजानाति यावं यश्चस्मि तत्वतः ततो माम ज्ञात्वा तत्वतो ज्ञात्वा विस्थिते तदनन्तरम्. One can understand me as I am, the Supreme Personal Godhead, only by devotional service. When one is in full consciousness of me by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. So these people who are studying Vedas, but they are not doing devotional service to the Lord, they also won't understand. Now the question comes, how then one does devotional service, right? In passion, ignorance we cannot, even in goodness we cannot. Then how one can get to devotional service? How does one get bhakti? Any thoughts on that? How does one get bhakti? Any thoughts? How does one get bhakti? Okay, from bhakti only we can understand Krishna. But how does one get bhakti? The answer is very simple. You want to try?
As devotees, Prabhuji, associating with devotees.
See, one thing is there. Can Krishna give us bhakti?
Yes, Prabhuji.
No, he cannot give. Because if he gives, then he is partial. So he doesn't give bhakti. Then who gives bhakti? Only a devotee can give bhakti. Okay. So like you said, association of devotees, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So that is the answer. If one associates with a bhakta, then he gets bhakti. Even associating with the Lord doesn't guarantee bhakti. Can you tell me an example? When Lord Krishna was there, did Duryodhan and his brothers become bhaktas? Huh? No, right? Did Duryodhan become devotee? Did Dhritarashtra become devotee? Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So Duryodhan, even though Lord Krishna was there in front of him, nothing. He couldn't become devotee. See, so Krishna cannot give bhakti. But if you associate with a bhakta, then you become bhakti. Then you can get bhakti. So Duryodhan was associating with the Pandavas, right? Cousins. Did he get bhakti from them?
No, Prabhuji.
Why?
Because his desires were more. Mm, he was
Because he was
very.
against devotees only. He was against them. He tried to kill them. He tried to put them in fire. Okay. So he was envious of them. So the first thing is, one can get a bhakti from a devotee if he is non-envious to that devotee. If he is not doing any aparat to that devotee, then he can get bhakti. Now you understand? So devotee can give bhakti, that's fine, but one who is on the recipient side should also be humble enough to accept it, right? Therefore, Duryodhan and party didn't get because they were offending bhaktas. Finally, they offended Krishna also. So the answer is Krishna, devotee can only give bhakti. Okay, only thing you have to be good to that devotee. That's the only condition. Okay, otherwise still you don't get bhakti. Okay, so now we discuss that only bhakti can make us understand Krishna. Okay, even studying Vedas cannot. Being in passion and ignorance is like being a drunkard. You cannot. Then how you can get bhakti? You can only get bhakti by a devotee because Krishna is not going to give. Otherwise, he will be called partial. You are partial. You are giving bhakti to someone and not to other. A devotee can give. Why? Because a devotee will be partial. Why a devotee is partial is allowed? Any thoughts?
Prabhuji, because even that devotee wants him to come to Krishna consciousness and practice bhakti. That's why he's partial to devotees, so that they also can be liberated.
Yeah, a devotee, right? A devotee, if he gets, uh, yeah, he desires that people should come and serve Krishna. So therefore, he gives
So,
bhakti. Hmm? So he can be partial. A devotee can be partial, but he is partial on the basis of how people are reciprocating with him. If the person is not uh, good to him, then he won't give that person bhakti, right? He will say, "What is the point? He will offend me, then he will offend Krishna also. So better I don't give him anything." So there's a offense. You should not preach the holy name to an unfaithful person, right? Even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, um, where in the 18th chapter, right? He says, uh, Sarvam- yeah, this confidential knowledge may never be explained to those who are not austere, devoted, or engaged in devotional service, nor to one who is envious of me. Now you see, we cannot give Bhagavad Gita to all these four kinds of people. Who? Those who are not austere, those are in mode of passion and ignorance, like drunkards, those who are not devoted or engaged in devotional service. We don't see any sincerity in them. And those who are envious of Krishna, they are hating Krishna, so don't give them Bhagavad Gita. So anyway, point is a devotee can give bhakti, he still take the risk. Okay, he still takes the risk and he gives. He is the risk taking person. Okay, so now we'll go back to our discussion. So now that we have understood how we can get to know Krishna, that is only through devotional service. And Krishna is going to repeat this point again and again. We'll again discuss. Now we'll go a little further. The 20th verse clearly indicates Kames Tartarite Gyanaha Prapadyante Anya Devata. Those who are blinded by lusty desires surrender onto different demigods. So if they have some desires, lusty desires means I want to enjoy this world, I want to have good things and all that, they will go to the demigods. Okay. It is accepted that besides Supreme Personal Godhead, there are demigods who are in different planets, and the Lord is also has his planet. So in the 23rd verse, the worship of the demigod go to different planets of demigods, and those who are devotees of Lord Krishna go to Krishna Loka. So those who worship the demigods, they go to their planets after death, and those who are devotees of Lord Krishna, they go to Krishna Loka after death. You know, very simple. Because they want to go there, they'll go there. Although this is clearly stated, the foolish impulses still maintain that the Lord is formless, and that these forms are impositions. From the study of Gita, it doesn't appear that demigods and their abodes are impersonal. Clearly, neither demigods nor the Krishna, the Supreme Personal Godhead, are impersonal. They're all persons. Lord Krishna is Supreme Personal Godhead, and he has his own planet, and demigods have theirs. Therefore, the monistic contention that the ultimate truth is formless and that form is imposed does not hold true. So this is how the monist people, impersonalist people, they explain that the ultimate truth is formless and then it takes form. This is not accepted by Bhagavad Gita. It is clearly stated here that it is not imposed. In the Bhagavad Gita, we can clearly understand that the forms of the demigod and the forms of the Supreme Lord are simultaneously existing, and that Sri Krishna is Satchidananda. His form is eternal, blissful, and knowledge. See, the body of Sri Krishna is spiritual, it's not material, meaning it doesn't have bone, blood, veins. It is spiritual in nature. Getting? The Vedic literature confirms that the absolute truth is the knowledge and uh, blissful pleasure. Vijnanam Anandam Brahma. And he is the reservoir of unlimited auspicious qualities. Ananta Kalyanam Gunatmakoso. And in the Gita, Krishna says that although he is Aja, he is unborn, he still appears. These are the facts that we should understand from the Bhagavad Gita. We cannot understand how the Supreme Lord can be impersonal. The imposition theory of impersonalist monism is false as far as the statements of Bhagavad Gita are concerned. It is clear herein that the Supreme Absolute Truth, Lord Sri Krishna, has both form and personality. See, this line should be very clear to us. Krishna has a form and personality. Because the the philosophy of monist impersonalism is widespread. All gods are one, that is widespread. The energy takes the form. This is widespread. But from the Bhagavad Gita, it doesn't appear, right, that this philosophy is right or is supported. So, any questions on this point before we go further? Any questions? Okay. नाहम प्रकाश सर्वस्य योग माया समवृतः मूढ़ोयम नाभिजानाति लोको माम अजम अव्ययम. Now, Krishna says, I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my eternal potency, and therefore they do not know I am unborn and infallible. Now, in this regard, I want to tell you one thing. In Mahabharata, right, it is explained how Krishna left the world. So he fought with his dynasty people, and all of them killed. All of them got killed. So in Mahabharata, Arjuna sees that there is Krishna's body lying and Balram's body is lying, okay, and they're burning fire to it. This is how Mahabharata explains. But Srimad Bhagavatam says it is not like that. Krishna, he was sitting under a tree, and then a hunter, he sent an arrow. Now, some say that the arrow hit the leg of Krishna. No, it is not like that. It didn't hit the leg of Krishna. It hit nearby. Okay. And there, in the presence of Uddhava and Maitreya, Krishna spoke to them and he left. Balram became a snake and he left. Now, how these two things can be reconciled? Mahabharata is saying one version, Bhagavatam is saying another version. Have you heard about this difference in version? Or you're hearing it for the first time only?
Prabhuji, please repeat the question. The signal was like I was not able to hear, Prabhuji.
Okay, okay, okay. So Mahabharata says that in the how Krishna left, there was a fight, and all his family members they fought with each other. All of them got killed, even Krishna, and he and his body. And Arjuna saw that fire was put on their pyre, and he came back to Hastinapur. This is how Mahabharata explains. But Bhagavatam says that it was not Krishna, like it was just to create an illusion that Krishna has left. Okay, it was just to create that illusion. Krishna left the world from the tree. So under a tree he was sitting, and then a hunter hit arrow, which didn't hit him in his leg. It hit near to his leg. So why does Krishna do these two things? One way he's showing, manifesting something, magical, and another way he's leaving. The reason is here. To the foolish and intelligent, he will be covered always. For them, he will show that he is not the supreme. But for the devotees, he will show that he is supreme. Okay. So Krishna will do like that. And he says that here, I will never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. Now, this is something little complex to understand, but understand it this way, that what is given in Srimad Bhagavatam is superior to what is I would not say superior. I would say it is the right understanding. If there is a difference in Mahabharat versus Srimad Bhagavatam, because Krishna, he does certain things so that the atheistic people are bewildered and they don't know what is right, what is wrong. So he actually fools them. It doesn't make any difference to them. To these foolish people, he will show them something that they want to see. But to the devotees, he will show how he really went. Okay, we'll go a little further. It may be argued that since Krishna was visible to everyone when he was present on this earth, how can it be said that he not manifest to everyone? See, I'm talking about the same thing. Krishna was there in front of everyone, right? Then how is saying he's not manifest to everyone? But actually, he was not manifest to everyone. When Krishna was present, there are only few people who could understand him to be the supreme personality of Godhead. In the assembly of Kurus, when Shishupal spoke against Krishna being elected president of the assembly, Bhishma supported him and proclaimed him to the supreme God. Similarly, the Pandavas and a few others knew that he was supreme, not everyone. He was not revealed to the non-devotees and to the uncommon man. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that but for his pure devotees, all men consider him to be like themselves. He was manifest only to his devotees as the reservoir of all pleasure, but to others unintelligent non-devotee, he was covered by the internal potency. So Krishna covers himself by the internal potency. And those who are envious, they think that Krishna is no more, or Krishna is just another being. That's why some people say Krishna is cunning because he does such things. In the prayers of Kunti, it is said the Lord is covered by the cult of Yogamaya, and thus ordinary persons cannot understand. The Yogamaya curtain is also confirmed in Ishopanishad. Hiranyame Patrena. Oh Lord, you are the maintainer of the entire universe. There is very nice verse in Shrimad Bhagavatam 1.8. I'll just show you. Yeah. This particular verse 1.8. Oh, okay. Yeah, this particular verse only. um, Let me Let me just show you something. Uh, we can take anything. Now this is the actor, and this is acting in the movie. Can you recognize him? Can you recognize him? Can you recognize him?
No, no, bro.
Yeah. This is what Kunti Maharani is saying. That being that exactly like an actor dressed as a player is not recognized. Similarly, Krishna, you are not recognized by a foolish observer. She also uses the word foolish. Moodha drishya. Moodha. She uses the word moodha. So moodha cannot understand. For them, they will think this guy. But they don't know that internally it is this actor who is doing it. Getting? So Krishna will do this on purpose just to fool the envious people. He will use a covering around him that others won't understand what is happening. Now, why do you think Krishna does this? See, this is material world, right? So in material world, it is covered with non-devotees. Those who don't want to take to spiritual life, okay? So they want to be in their life. Now here Krishna comes, he does his pastime and all that, and still these people are not ready to take to Krishna consciousness. So to keep them as they want, Krishna makes this kind of acting, and this acting is enough for these people to become bewildered, to become foolish, and to continue with their life, because he gave them a chance, but they are not ready. So Krishna says, "What is the point? Let them continue that way. I won't disturb them further. Only to my devotees I will show my internal potency." So only devotees know how Krishna left. But for the non-devotees, they will write Krishna died here and all that. That is not true. Okay, the Srimad Bhagavatam version is the truest version between Mahabharata and Bhagavatam. And Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita why he does that. He covers himself to the foolish people. I don't want to show you. Like sometimes we may also do. If there is some person who is very foolish and very envious of us, we don't want to show off in front of them, right? Do we want to show off in front of very foolish envious people? Someone who's always thinking bad of us, do we want to show off in front of him? We don't even
No,
want to
bro.
see their face, right? So what we will do, we will do something, we will lie there, or we will tell some lie and we'll go away, right? Similarly, Krishna also does like that. That person is not interested in me, and why do I even face him, right? He is always envious of me. He's thinking so much bad of me. Okay, let him think. So to such people, now we should not go near to them. So this is what Krishna is saying. I don't go near only to them. I cover myself, and I show them what they want to see. Now this is okay. Any question on this understanding, or I am confusing you? Any questions? Okay, okay, okay. Let me finish this paragraph, and then we will open up for some questions or comments. You are the maintainer of entire universe, and devotional service to you is the highest religious principle. Therefore, I pray to you that you always also maintain me. Your transcendent form is covered by Yoga Maya. The Brahmajyoti is covering of the internal potency. May you kindly remove this glowing effulgence that impedes my seeing your Satchidananda Vigraha, your eternal form of bliss. So Krishna is covering around him. Okay, and devotee says, remove this. Let me see you as you are. The personality of Godhead in his transcendental form of bliss and knowledge is covered by internal potency of Brahma Jyotir, and the less intelligent impersonalists cannot see the Supreme on this account. Also in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:14-7, there is a prayer by Brahma. O Supreme Lord, O Super Soul, O Master of the all mysteries, you who can calculate your potency and pastime in this world? You are always expanding your eternal potency, and therefore no one can understand you. Learned scientists and learned scholars can examine the atomic constitution of material world and even planets, but still they are unable to calculate your energy and potency, although you are present before them. The Supreme Personal Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, is not the only unborn, is not only unborn, but is also Abhyaya, inexhaustible. His eternal form is bliss and knowledge, and his energies are all inexhaustible. Okay. Okay, so let's open up for some questions or comments. Can you you can unmute and speak. Any questions or comments?
Prabhuji, I wanted to ask during when Lord was very small, Yashoda Maya, I read in a book that Yashoda Ma was also covered with, I mean, she also could not recognize Lord because she was also, mm, and I mean, Lord covered her with Yoga Maya. Then Lord covers his devotees also with Yoga Maya sometimes.
Okay. Um, so in
What
devotional
exactly
service,
is
na,
Yoga Maya, Prabhuji?
see there are two kinds of Maya. One is Mahamaya
Yes,
and
Prabhuji.
one is called Yoga Maya. What is Mahamaya doing? She's fooling
External, it puts living
envious,
entities into illusion.
envious jivas. Okay, she's fooling envious jivas. Okay, that is her thing. What is Yoga Maya? She's not fooling. She's covering Krishna's supremacy. Mahamaya is in material world only. So in material world, it's like a jail. So Mahamaya will keep everyone in the jail. Yoga Maya is in the spiritual world. Now in the spiritual world, there are two types of bhakti that happens. One is bhakti with awe and respect, and bhakti which is okay. So one is bhakti knowing that Krishna is Supreme Personal Godhead. Okay, and another one is bhakti without knowing Krishna is Supreme Personality of God. This one, the first one is Shantaras and Dasaras. So technical meaning of this is Shantaras and Dasaras, where one knows that Krishna is the Supreme. Like Hanuman, he's a Dasa, a servant. So here they know Krishna is Supreme Person Godhead, and therefore they are worshipping like that. Then there is three other ones which is called Sakya,
Sakyaras, yes, Sakyaras,
Sakyaras,
Madhuryaras,
and one more, no? Parental love, what is that called?
Vatsalya.
Vatsalya, yes. And Madhurya. So in this bhakti, right? This bhakti is done on the basis of friendship, parental, and loving relation. So here They need not know Krishna is supreme. If they come to know Krishna is supreme, they will go into dasa bhav, and they won't specify, Sakya and Vatsalya. In Sakya, it is friendship, right? So friendship will be very close if the other person thinks that you are equal, right? Like, let's say there's a poor friend and there's a rich friend, and they have friendship with each other. The friendship will continue only to the extent, that each other don't think that you're rich, I'm poor, right? If that thought comes, then that friendship won't be remaining friendship, right? You understand this point?
Yes, Prabhu. हाँ हाँ,
Yeah,
yes, Prabhu.
yeah. So what happens is, here the bhakti is matured enough, like it becomes very intense, that I want to be your friend. So if you want to be my friend, then you should think me to be your equal. Now if you want me to be thinking equal, then don't remember, that I am a rich person. Now you get. Now,
Mhm.
vatsalya. Oh, I want to take care, as if I'm taking care of my child. Now child, let's say, we take care of our babies or children, right? They are helpless. They are helpless, right? Like a baby is helpless. Everything has to be done for the baby, right? From feeding, clothing, taking bath. Now Krishna doesn't need, right? He doesn't need to be. He doesn't need anything. Now for that love to be there, that I'm taking care of my child, Krishna has to show some helplessness, right? He has to show some helplessness. Otherwise, there is no rasa. There is no sweetness in it. Like sometimes, children become big, and then the mother thinks, oh, when you were small, I would give you this, I would give you that. Now that you have become so big, I cannot do only. Right? Sometimes the mother thinks like that. Yes? Have you thought about like that?
हाँ, yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So, so Yashoda Mai should know that Krishna is not the supreme. Then only that Vatsalya can work. The moment she comes to know, actually that happens when he opens the mouth, and he sees the universe. Na?
Mhm.
After
Yes,
seeing, she
Prabhuji.
comes to know that Krishna is showing me the whole universe, meaning he is the supreme. The moment he comes to know, he closes the mouth. And again, Yashoda Mai comes back and says, no, no, he's my child. And he's eating mud. Okay. So this is the thing. Now in Sakya also there are two kinds of Sakya. In one Sakya they know Krishna is supreme, in other Sakya they don't know Krishna is supreme. Okay. But in Vatsalya, again there are two types of Vatsalya. Devaki and Vasudev, they know Krishna is supreme. But when it comes to Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, they don't know. In Madhurya, again there are two kinds. Lakshmi knows Krishna is supreme. Okay, but with the gopis it is not like that. They know he's our village boy, very beautiful village boy, like that. So okay, so here is how the the difference is there. Getting?
Okay, okay, Prabhuji. It means that Yoga Maya is not in the material world; it is in the spiritual world.
Yes,
Okay,
it's a
Prabhuji.
spiritual
Thank
world,
you,
and it does
Prabhuji.
this. It does same work, but it's not fooling. It is just covering. It is covering Krishna's supremacy, so that Krishna can taste Sakya Vatsalya Madhurya.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Take the example of like two friends. If they want to go somewhere out and all that, then it should be equal, right? The other friend should not say, I'm a rich person. Immediately that relationship changes. Oh, you're rich and all that, then that friendship cannot remain friendship. No? It becomes like eh, the rasa changes actually. It should be on the
Yes,
equal level,
Prabhuji.
right?
Mhm.
So in the spiritual world, how is that possible? Only when Yoga Maya comes and covers it. In the material world, Mahamaya covers it. When Krishna comes, not all everyone can understand Krishna.
Okay, okay, Prabhuji.
Any other question?
No, Prabhuji.
Someone raised hand. You can unmute and speak, please. Okay. So if no more questions, then we can stop here today. I'm sorry for starting late.